Okay, so welcome everybody, and we're very happy to have you here in this meeting between US and Israel. I see some people are still entering. We started this idea for metro, cross metro meetup in order to have more interaction and more collaboration. And there is nothing better than start with US and Israel, which are practically all the time are connecting uh, constantly. So we talked with Suzanne and Mijong, and we're very happy to have this format of companies from all three metros that are presenting. And of course, you can do collaborating and networking in the background, in the chat, leave your details. And of course, afterwards, we will send everything, all the details to the emails and the recording. So let's start. I would like to start with Suzanne, that we initially engaged in 2 months ago, I think, that we started and had this idea, and then we talked with Mijong. So Suzanne, please go ahead.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Tal. It's a lot of fun working with you. You're very dynamic, and so is Mijong. But Tal drives the engine. Go. Okay. So then, the New York City chapter of the Global Chamber is a growing arm of the parent Global Chamber organization, which has chapters in 525 metros around the world. We provide connectivity to AI-supported warm introductions to a growing database of over 40 million people. We in New York and the Global Chamber Parent Organization are doing programs such as this one today, connecting and educating our members on aspects of how to do business globally, most effectively in this time with a global tribe of trusted contacts, which will benefit your respective businesses. Today, we focus on Israel and US, and I particularly can address briefly why Israel, New York City. New York City has an innate affinity to Israel, as Jews make up over 13% of the city's population, with over 1.1 million Jews as of a recent census. There are over 30,000 Israelis living in New York State, also to a recent census. So doing business with trusted contacts, it's sort of a vibe thing, sort of what Tal and I have. And sometimes not only do you have this dynamic occurring, but the fact that Global Chamber has been a pioneer in building a trusted advisor network. So for New York particular, many global companies have some type of presence here in New York. The business institutions and professionals that the New York Chamber can offer you connectivity to with are major financial services companies, real estate, the big tech companies, even Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google just reinvested in New York City, even during COVID. Professional and business services, government and government enterprises, with the UN here, cultural institutions, obviously museums, theater and opera, educational services, healthcare, and social assistance. So although Israel is almost 6,000 miles away from New York, now in this pandemic haze, it's the best time to explore business virtually. Why we know we can help you is because the Global Chamber has vast, deep, and tested experience in doing virtual meetings. So that's why you should really consider strongly, I don't know who that is, great picture, Rivatal. That's why it's really important for you to consider joining the New York City Chamber. So now I would like to introduce three of our featured members of our chapter here, and I'm going to start with Amir Schuster. He's a senior foreign exchange dealer for Cambridge Global Payments. So Amir, you have 3 minutes, so if you want to share your screen. Thanks, Amir. Okay, we see your screen. You want to start with your presentation?
Amir, you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Boker Tov, Shalom, good morning, and Erev Tov to Tal and everybody in Israel. My name is Amir Schuster. I'm representing a company called Cambridge Global Payments. And I'll take 3 minutes to just explain what we do. And we come in when you're ready to actually transfer funds cross-border, either from US to Israel or Israel to the US. So just some interesting trade facts. Israel is the US's 23rd largest trading partner. $47 billion in goods were traded in 2019. Moving money to Israel has some unique difficulties that you don't have with other countries due to obvious security concerns. There's heightened money laundering and audits. And because of that, banks will often just outright reject a payment, which means it takes time to get back to you, and it often gets back to you less a fee that the Israeli bank takes. Also, if you send US dollars to an ILS account in Israel, the receiving bank will force convert it often at a margin of 3%, 4%, 5%. So that's on the receiving end. And finally, invoice translation issues. So if you're trying to pay an invoice that's in Hebrew and you send it to JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, it's going to take a while for them to translate it. And when they do, it'll come with a translation fee because they often have to hire a third-party translator. There's a few different reasons why you may have to send money to Israel. Obviously, paying for a good or service, paying for an invoice. If you have offices in Israel, you might have to pay rent or make payroll. If you're making an acquisition, you might need a large bullet Israeli shekel amount. If you are in Israel but headquartered in the US, then you may have to repatriate profits back to the US. And finally, and for some people most importantly, is if you have customers in Israel that need to pay you in ILS, and you're telling them you can only pay me in US dollars, you have to pay my JP account, you're putting the foreign exchange risk on them. So if we can provide you with an ILS account that they can pay into us in trust for you, we can convert it to USD. It's a benefit to your end user. Obviously, if you're doing this, you have to do it with a company that's you trust, that has a backing, that has a history. So not to go into all the details, but we have 14,000 clients worldwide. We've been in business 25 years. Our parent company is a Fortune 1000 company listed on the New York Stock Exchange with a market cap of $24 billion, making our parent company one of the largest companies in the world. This is a snapshot of what we do. The top two things for the scope of this conversation are what's most important, which is cross-border payments and currency risk management, helping you to manage the fluctuations in the currency market. Just a bit of the volume that we do. In 2015, we did slightly over $20 billion in volume. Fast forward to 2019, we're slightly under $50 billion. So obviously pretty rapid growth. That is a snapshot of what we do. If you have any questions, if you have any cross-border needs, feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. Very good on the timing. Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, up next will be Chuck Newman, and he's not sharing a screen. So, right, Chuck?
Well, I said I don't like to share, but greetings, everybody. Chuck Newman, Charles Newman Company in Peekskill, let's see, New York. And we are employee benefits brokers here in the U.S. I'm here with my VP of Client Services, David Arbite, who's on with me today, who's going to go through part of our talk. We don't have so much of a presentation, but for those companies who know the U.S. market for employee benefits, it's vastly different than it is in Israel or pretty much anywhere else in the world. We're employee benefits brokers, which mean primarily we provide group health insurance for the companies that are our customers that provide insurance to their employees. We're established here for 30 years here in New York, but we serve companies all over the United States. And in the US, when employees have health insurance or life insurance or disability insurance or other benefits such as dental insurance or vision insurance, we're the ones who supply it to them and find out the best options for them. So I'm going to let David take over a little bit and talk about why we're here with the Global Chamber of Commerce, since we are working with companies here primarily in the US.
Thanks, Chuck. So I'll just start with an overview of the US market for health insurance. Most Americans obtain their health insurance through their employer. Employers often use a health insurance plan as a way to recruit and retain employees. And the stronger the benefit plan that they can provide, the more likely they are to attract top-level talent. In the US, there are 4 major national insurance companies, and in each state or region, there are local insurers. We help our clients determine which insurance company is the best fit for them. The major differences in insurance plans with regard to access to doctors and hospitals would be looking at their networks. Networks need to be strongly considered when an employer is choosing a health insurance plan to make sure that their employees can see the doctors or use the hospitals that they prefer to use. Now, our company also has a unique value proposition for the US offices of foreign-owned companies. For companies headquartered outside of the US who have operations within the US, or for companies that are considering opening a US location, we act as your US-based employee benefits advocate and guide, and we help navigate the complex universe that is the US-based health insurance system. We have a suite of options to smooth the way for you into the US. Most companies entering the US health insurance market who have 50 or fewer US employees will be stuck offering cookie cutter insurance plans to their employees. So, however, foreign-owned companies can have a unique advantage in the US because we also work with highly rated international insurers who offer programs tailored specifically for your needs. And we're also here to guide you and help you access human resources consultants, attorneys, payroll providers, and tax and compliance services.
Thank you so much, David. And for all, if I didn't mention at the beginning, David's in Tel Aviv. I'm here in New York. We have David is a local presence in Tel Aviv. Tell everyone where you are in Tel Aviv, David.
At the moment, I'm in, we work in Thurman Marketplace.
Okay, so you know where to find David, and thank you so much this morning. If anyone wants to reach out, you can reach us at chuck@charlesnewman.com or info@charlesnewman.com.
Okay, Chuck, thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, okay. So up next is Lou Vasilati of Globalization Partners. So Lou, if you want to share your screen.
I will do that. And I'm going to start my timer. Hopefully you can see Globalization Partners. I'm going to start my timer for 3 minutes.
Yeah, we see it.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lou Vasilati. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Globalization Partners. Our company is Boston, Massachusetts based, founded in 2012. We are a global employer of record. We actually operate in 187 countries around the world and help companies hire employees in countries where they do not want to set up or do not need to set up a branch office or subsidiary. So typically our clients will identify the talent that they want to hire, and then we will put them onto our fully compliant in-country employment platform. This really enables people to enter countries and hire people in days, not months, and lift the burden of payroll, HR, legal, and tax compliance from their shoulders to ours. So we've helped a lot of U.S. companies hire people in Israel, and we've also helped a lot of Israeli companies hire people all over the globe and in the United States. So we've got a good amount of experience with Israel. It is an end-to-end solution. So when you think about employment, it starts with employment contracts globally, which are fairly complex and really set the foundation for an employee-employer relationship. And then obviously all the employment administrative facets of hiring someone in a country. So payroll, benefits, expense reimbursement, PTO tracking, but most importantly is really the HR and legal compliance, because laws vary from country to country and are very dramatically different than the way that we operate in the United States. Typically the kind of 4 ways that our clients engage us are when they want to move into new markets and they really either want to test the market or get a little momentum before they invest in infrastructure. So they'll basically put 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people on the ground to start to build that brand and build that pipeline. And once they feel confident that it's a geography they're going to stay in and advance, they'll set up an entity at that point. Number 2 are contractor conversions. Before knowing that an employer of record solution exists, you really only have 2 ways to go into a market. That was either setting up an entity or hiring a contractor. As companies find out about our solution, they are moving contractors to our employment platform so they can mitigate the risk of misclassification. Talent acquisition is basically hiring the best people anywhere in the world. Whether you need, someone who's got, a software developer skill but is in the Netherlands, or you need somebody like a manufacturing liaison in China. Those are all things that we can handle. We also get involved in M&A deals, the small headcount countries that are usually kind of the hard part of getting a deal closed quickly and getting people transferred off seller to buyer. You can't imagine the number of different titles that our clients have used us for. It amazes me every month when we look at the people we're putting on the platform, just in different ways. Obviously, COVID has impacted virtual hiring and has given people kind of the idea that they really now should think about hiring the best people wherever they are in the world versus necessarily someone that is local.
All right, Lou, you've got to wrap up. You're excellent, and people can find you. Please
Gotcha.
put your,
Yep, you can
put
find
your
me.
info. Yeah.
That's great. I appreciate your time. Lou Vassalotti, Globalization Partners. Thanks.
Yeah, put it in the chat as well. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry to cut you off.
That's
we've got
okay.
A lot of info to get over. Okay. So now I am happy to offer a few guest spots to other members in the New York City chapter. 1 minute. We got Freddie Ashby. So no sharing screen, just Freddie, just give us some information about Global Upside.
Thank you, Susan. Great to be here with you. I'm also here with my colleague, Shane Jacobs. He covers the Baltimore Metro and I the New York City. So we're happy to be here. Global Upside, if you think about global expansion or operation, it's complex. Lou said it great there. We partner with companies to both expand and operate internationally. And our breadth of services cover everything from setting up entities, making sure they're registered with all the local authorities. There can sometimes be 5 to 7 different registrations with tax and Social Security and all sorts of licenses that need to be done. From there, we can help set up bank accounts. And then there's a whole suite of HR services, from employment contracts to onboarding and the medical screenings that need to take place. We can also provide comprehensive payroll and a whole suite of financial and finance services as well. So think about accounting and tax and compliance, all your quarterly and annual filings. That can change from country to country. So we can do not only that and set up entities for you, we also, like Globalization Partners, we have an employer of record division and a staffing division. So in the countries that are small headcount or where you don't want to set up your own entity, we can hire those people for you. And so we consider ourselves a full life cycle partner of our companies. Your needs may change 6 months from now, 18 months from now, and we have solutions that can help you every step of the way.
I got to cut you off. Sorry.
I'm done.
You did it. Okay. Share your info in the
Will
chat
do.
with everybody. Thank you so much, Freddie.
Thank you.
Next up, we got, you're so welcome, John Schultz, Director of Global Business at International Auto Source.
Thank you, Susan, and good day to everyone. International Auto Source is a 25-year-old company with 50,000 satisfied customers around the world. We provide new vehicle financing for people that are moving to the United States from another country that do not have a Social Security number or do not have a credit history. If you are moving here, your option would be to pay cash for a vehicle. We can provide financing, which helps you to better manage your cash flow. We are interested in finding a partner in Israel because there is immigration to Israel from the United States. So if anyone in this meeting knows of a business that is similar to ours, that is focused on expats moving to Israel, I've included my information in the chat. Please reach out and contact me. Thanks very much, Susan.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Paul Jaffe, he's the New York representative of the Japan Intercultural Consulting.
Thank
Paul?
you very much, Susan. Good morning, everybody. Good noon, I suppose. Japan Intercultural Consulting works with Japanese companies and companies that are doing business with Japanese companies. And the main goal that we have is to help the companies and the workers in the companies bridge the culture gap. And the culture gap in this case covers a lot of areas. So we're basically helping Japanese understand what the expectations are of the workplace in the US. We're helping them understand the US communication style, how they need to give feedback to the workers, which is very different than Japan, where basically they don't have a word for feedback. And on the other hand, we're training the people working with Japanese how to understand the Japanese communication style, how to bridge that gap, how to be effective if they're negotiating, how to do all kinds of tasks that they need to get done ways of working across the communication gap, understanding things like Japanese decision-making style and the like. So that's basically the way we work. We often go in and start with some consulting, some discovery interviews, and then we customize a training. We also do coaching for executives and managers.
Oh, we've got to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was trying to find a good way.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's just about it. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Paul. All right. Last but not least, Robert Sattler, principal at Cressa, New York, real estate.
Thanks, Susan. Hi, everyone. I'm Rob Sattler, a principal in the New York office of Cressa. Cressa is a commercial real estate advisory, brokerage, and consulting firm who focuses on advising occupiers of space throughout the world on the commercial real estate they lease, own, and occupy. Unlike many other service providers in the field, we don't represent any traditional landlords, REITs, or developers. We're solely focused on the occupier or tenant. We have approximately 85 offices throughout the world and about 1,100 professionals. And we work with all types of companies from small local nonprofits to Fortune 500.
Whoa, thank you so much. Okay, very good. All right, so thank you all. As well as the educational forums, we're beginning a monthly meetup for just the New York City Chamber members. It'll start on January 21st on a monthly basis, and you'll be getting info about that, so watch for more details. And now I'm gonna ask my colleague Tal Silberberg to talk about Tel Aviv and represent your companies. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Susan, and all the New York City Metro. And nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Tal. I am the Executive Director of Global Chamber Israel Tel Aviv. The Metro was established, actually, we started in February, but because of COVID, it was postponed a little bit, and now we're full speed ahead. I myself a networker since I was in a very young age. When I was in United States, and I met Doug, and I was very impressed by the format of a global chamber. I know how networking works, and I do think that it's very valuable for companies to extend their reach globally. And I can see and understand better now how we can help businesses in Israel to gain this global reach and collaboration. In the end, the world is really, really small, and with all the technology, it's very easy to do business globally. So I want to present today, first of all, I would be more than happy to have people in Israel, companies, colleagues, to refer them to us to enhance and make our metro bigger. And I'm promising that we can connect them anywhere on the globe. And my time is up, so I would like to present our first speaker, Dotan Gilad, which is the CEO and owner for Tradery, which is a business development company, which he probably will tell you better than I will. So Dotan, be my guest. Your microphone is yours. Go ahead.
Okay. Couldn't see my microphone. Okay, hello everyone, and thank you very much. We are into international business development. Actually, we help manufacturers and companies entering into new market worldwide. We also very well known as solution and technology providers. We are working in different segments. We have business partners in more than 20 countries. So we have many experts in the team. Here you can see some segments, but we are operating in so many topics. For instance, in the water segment, if it's water for agriculture, if it's for municipality, for industry, it doesn't matter. We have many solutions. You can see here some demonstration for piggeries and for farming. We know to treat the wastewater and all the total nitrate and pollutant that in the end they go to the groundwater. So we know to give many solutions for many challenges. It's just an example. We are also into the industry and franchise with green technology for battery refurbishment, for telecommunication and industrial batteries and more. You can see some activity in different countries. We are also into agriculture. We get delegation from many countries and we give support. We also do business development in avocado seeds and avocado plants, which it's a very interesting topic, especially in the US and Latin American countries. In the industry plastic, we give support for companies in Israel, out of Israel, also in Central America. And due to a disruption in supply chain, we understand some needs of outsourced procurement management. So we can also give support, especially for drilling companies and mining companies and construction, that they need support with such equipment from all Asia Pacific. And of course, we are dealing a lot now with technology, advanced future technology, how to implement doing this very well in the agriculture. Actually, we develop a solution for in the ground or anywhere else. We also use many technologies that for many years they were used in the homeland security, and we do shifting for the agriculture, if it's for precise agriculture, for saving money on operation, if it's about enabling technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and to implement in, let's say, Asian methods of agriculture and many, many more.
So I need to cut you off, sorry. The time is up, so, okay.
I finished, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you are more than, thank you, Dotan, and you are more than welcome to contact Dotan. He will leave the details in the chat. And also we will send the presentation afterwards in the follow-up email. Thank you very much. And the next speaker is Eldar Sivan. He has a law firm in Israel, and he's a very big law firm in Israel. And Eldar, the screen and the mic is yours.
Good evening. Good evening over here. Just a second. Can you see the presentation, Tal?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So let's start. Okay. ESBM is a law firm located in Tel Aviv. We are a boutique firm, actually, and we work also in Israel and also in Tel Aviv, Israel, and in Yokneam, which is northern Israel. Our areas of expertise is commercial, intellectual property, patents, taxes, employment, litigation, and real estate. Our customers give solutions in many fields like event organizations, fintech, homeland security, outdoor, cannabis manufacturing, medical devices, and they all look for collaborations in the US. Some of them already done that, but of course they are looking for more collaborations and more opportunities. Our vision in our law firm is not just to think legally, but also think about the business, and a way of approach is engineering. Our client looks for trusted advisors, and we are trying to give them this kind of advices. We are multitaskers. We use business approach. We think of ourselves as deals builders, and we wish to be on time. The partners come, all of us, of course, lawyers, but we come from the engineering field, from the business field, and from the accounting and economics. Our services, as I said, including commercial law, intellectual property. We draft and apply for patents in Israel, in the US, and in Europe. We are doing employment law over in Israel. We give services about tax law, even internationally. We give solutions regarding real estate over here in Israel. We do litigation, of course, and one that I like the most is us for being an international desk. We're giving services to law firms out of Israel that is doing business over here in Israel. And as I said, we are think of ourselves, and this is what we are doing. We are search for businesses opportunities for our clients on daily basis. I repeat that we have clients that in the fields of fintech, homeland security, medical devices, outdoor, and all of them are looking for opportunities. If you are looking for opportunity with a company which mainly is high tech and has patents and a lot of IP, and you wish to collaborate, I think that we can find a solution for our clients and also for you. Thank you very much.
That was good. Good on the timing.
The mic is yours, Tal.
Okay, thank you very much, Eldar, and you are more than happy. I will be more than happy for you to leave the details in the chat, and also we will send it later. Our last speaker is Shai Cohen, the owner of Hurricane, which is an interesting digital business college. So Shai, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, and you can see.
Good. So, hi, everyone from Northern Israel. I'm here in Carmiel, and it's a pleasure to be here with all over the world, basically, tonight. So, great to meet you guys. We are the Hurricane. We're business digital learning. Basically, it's a business that helps companies to train the workers to be initiate, to be better, to work better. And we are basically developing the business DMG skills. So what are the DMG skills? First of all, digital. You know, COVID-19 showed everyone that the world is going to a digital times, basically. This is the digital century we're about to meet. And we are helping people to be more digital. The second thing is think about marketing, to make your workers be more involved with marketing processes. This is our expertise. We help train people, we help train workers to be more marketing wise and to know about marketing processes your companies are dealing with. And the third thing is graphics. Basically, that's the G. Graphics, we train people to know about graphics, basically basic graphics, not the experts of graphics, just the basic things. So processes are not going, and getting stuck. Wherever there is a way to make things shorter, the Hurricane is there to help you and find that way. Our services is including consulting and training businesses, digital tools, and workers. Basically, we do training and we do consulting. We teach effective graphic tools for workers. We do workshops, basically. Effective marketing tools workshops. We teach, for example, Wix, PowerPoints, ActiveTrail, marketing softwares, and we train people with efficient digital management tools workshops, such as time management using Google Tools, Greenbook, Zoom, whatever. We are there to teach everyone those softwares. The annoying challenges that we solve are, whenever you just sit there and wait for your supplier to send you the graphics or whatever it is that you just need things to be done just now, we are there to teach your workers how to do the work, how to make processes easier, how to make things flow a lot faster, because this is the digital century. This is the digital time. Things has to be very quick right now. So we provide skills and methods to your workers. We proudly serve many companies, and these are some of them. These are the bigger companies that we serve. And we can provide effective tools and train the employees and staff. We can provide a tailor-made full training suite for your workers. And we can consult companies that wish to leverage to advance digital processes on regular, ongoing basis. You guys can connect us to companies that are, from the last century, and they want to move forward to the next century. And now they want their workers to be a lot more efficient. They want their workers to be digital. We are there to help you with that. We are there to train people. We are, of course, experts in training graphic designers,
Shai, you need
others.
to wrap up.
Yeah, thank you guys. We're good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shai. And let's move to our 60-second pitch. Aviva, are you here? I saw you earlier.
I'm here.
Okay, so you have your 60 seconds. Please go ahead.
Okay, so hello everyone. Did you know that the way you present your project, your company, or even just yourself can make or break a deal? Most people think that it's some kind of talent or innate ability to present. However, it's called a presentation skill, and a skill can be learned, and that is exactly what my company offers. Hi, I'm Aviva, owner and CEO of BPSC Services. I'm a pitching coach, and my company offers presentation skills coaching and workshops on an international level. We also offer done-for-you services for those who don't have the resources to write the presentations themselves. And we're working with an international team that ensures that your presentation speaks to your target company wherever they sit in the world. We're looking to connect with companies that have to present often, but feel that their presentations are just not hitting the mark. So especially now that we're presenting online, which has changed the rules of the game completely. I'm Aviva Einbinder from BPSC Services, giving your idea a story, a voice, and a makeover. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aviva. Gal, are you here?
Yes, of course. Good evening, everybody, or good morning. I don't know how it is at your side of the world. My name is Gal, and I'm organizational consultant, and in my company and with my colleagues, what we are doing is actually working with municipalities to build infrastructures that will build a stronger community. In the last 2 years, what we do mainly is work about an infrastructure of the municipality to support the development of local businesses. But we also have wonderful programs for early childhood, for youth, and for young adults. So we consult the municipalities, we bring the tailor-made programs, and we do that happily. So thank you, Tal, for the opportunity, and thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. And the thing is that the most important thing that everybody in the world can collaborate with us. I will be more than happy to connect each and every one of you to the relevant people. Doesn't necessarily mean that you need their service, but they do know a lot of people, a lot of companies, and we will be happily do this around the world. I think that this is it because our two other speakers couldn't make it today. So I'll be proudly give the Mijon the control of the meet.
All right, thank you. I was a little bit worried about, well, you know, do we have enough time to present all ours? But thank you very much. Let me just share my screen, which is, all right, so, you know, thank you very much, Tal, and it's my pleasure to introduce the Global Chamber Baltimore and Washington, D.C. chapter, which actually covers the state of Maryland and Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. area. Just briefly, I wanted to, you know, to touch upon how versatile this region is in terms of international trade opportunities. One look at the map shows that Maryland is really perfectly positioned for international trade. It is at the center of the east coast of the United States. One of the nation's really busiest commercial corridors. It is also right next door to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., with hundreds of foreign embassies and, you know, the key American and global decision makers. Maryland is really wide open for international business. Its export, you know, the totaled more than $12 billion in 2018, and many world-renowned manufacturers are located here in this state, including Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin. And Maryland's largest manufacturing export categories, including transportation equipment, chemicals and machinery, electrical, computer, and electronic products, and the list can go on. And if you can see some of the names, the many foreign companies have found a home in Maryland as well, including Volvo and BAE System, Nestle, and Sodexo, and many others. And then next to Virginia. Virginia is also open for international business as well. And more than 7,200 Virginian companies exported over 18 billion worth of goods in 2018. And especially Virginia is the center of federal contracting and procurement for all military branches. As you might know, Pentagon and Marines and CIA headquarters are all located here. DARPA located in Alexandria, and the largest naval base in the world is in Norfolk, Virginia. And I think that the most notable company in Virginia is actually perhaps the Amazon. It chose Virginia for its East Coast headquarters because of location and talented workforce. So you will see quite a few maybe familiar Israeli companies names on the screen. It's actually, they found a home here in Virginia, and this data is actually from Virginia Israel Advisory Board. So knowing Israel is a very, the innovation-driven economy, I think the promising areas for, binational trade with, our region would be, the biohealth and information technology, energy, and advanced manufacturing and defense and maritime and, agriculture as well. So with that, let me stop share mine and then introduce the three member companies from our region to share their business stories. First, we have Nadia Bizari. Nadia is international business developer and strategic partnerships with Clemens Worldwide. So Nadia, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mijan. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Nadia Bizari. I'm international business developer at Clemens Worldwide. Who is Clemens and what does this slide really mean? Clemens is international insurance provider. We provide international insurance solutions for individuals and organizations worldwide. So we enable them to operate and live anywhere in the world. Our story goes back to 1947 when we designed the first insurance expatriate programs for US Foreign Service officers, and which we service still until this day. We work closely with a State Department as well as other government entities, but also private employers. Now, over 7 years later, we are covering clients in over 170 countries worldwide. So even though we do have some solution for US, our primary focus is international coverages. We are cover holder at Lloyd's. What it means? It means that enables us to design a policy specific to our clients' needs. So if you think insurance is boring, this is where we become very creative and we have a lot of fun along the way. Just a little bit about our structures. We have different divisions. I would say first is partnership solutions. We create strategic partnerships and we design programs for partners around the world. Examples, we work with associations, credit unions, professional organizations, bank, wealth management firms, relocation industry or pilots, and we help their members, we help these companies to increase their membership, better their membership retention, and also increase revenue through value-add insurance solutions. Our other division would be commercial lines. Their primary focus are global employers, and then provide group coverages, which I'm going to cover a little bit later. Examples for some of our clients are international schools, pilots groups, government contractors, nonprofit, humanitarian sectors. And we also have a personal lines where we provide individual coverages for people relocating outside of their country of citizenship. So just quickly, just touch base on a few of the solutions. Personal lines, these are just a few coverages. I guess the most interesting now is travel and travel medical. We do not have COVID-19 exclusion, which is very rare. Most of the insurance do exclude COVID-19 at this time. When it comes to commercial lines, which is probably more interesting for Global Chamber members, I would just like to highlight a few. So for example, transit and cargo, political violence, director and officers, general liability, and nowadays cyber is a very hot topic, cybersecurity, because everybody's working remotely. So just quickly highlight a few that I thought might be interesting for you as a members, or maybe your clients or your partners. Property and liability solutions, where we provide truly protection to your asset, to the business assets under one specialty design program. So this is just examples what can be covered under property benefits features, business personal property, commercial property, loss of business income, equipment breakdown coverage, and then liability, third-party body injury, and third-party property damage, product to completed operations, damage to rented premises, medical expenses. Very interesting one is war and terrorism solution, which most of the insurers exclude. We provide solutions for this for over 68 years, and we are really shining in high-risk areas. Again, we can design special coverages for clients' needs, and these are included whether there is a war and terrorism threat. So some of these benefits are personal accident, rural auto, kidnap ransom, and so forth. And not to again get too deep into this, but cargo and transit might be very interesting. Again, a lot of other insurers exclude certain risks when it comes to transited cargo, and that leaves clients uncovered and certain gaps in coverage. So we again work with the client to design holistic coverage and end-to-end property in transit in high-risk areas as well. Doesn't matter whether it's transit within a land, sea, or air. Again, we can add endorsement, war and terrorism as well. And last of the coverages, which is really interesting, stock throughput would be the coverage of goods and assets against physical loss from the first interest, from the raw materials up to manufacturing process, whether it's a continuing warehouse transit, and finally during consolidation of distribution centers, and until it's basically no longer in the insurance risks. We like to say yes to challenge. So if you have any clients or you know of any programs that might be beneficial in the areas that your clients operate or you operate, I'm happy to connect and discuss further. Thank you very much.
Great.
Can I add just one quick plug? Our war and terrorism endorsement is different because it's just one endorsement, and it goes from civil unrest to political violence to war and terrorism, which you generally can't get in the market. So you're not trying to determine, you know, what it is. So it's very unique to Clements Worldwide. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thanks, Tanya. That's my colleague.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And make sure to put, you know, all the information in the chat box so that people can follow up later with any questions and requests. And then next we have Larry Brill. He's the principal at Export Trade Consultant. Larry, are you ready?
I'm ready. And I know we're short of time. There's my website. Thank you, Cesar. I'm principal at Export Trade Consultants, LLC. We're based in Columbia, Maryland. And the elevator pitch is simply, we help small and medium-sized companies develop import and export global programs. We're a full-service company. We handle everything from trade shows to marketing, to market research, to find agents and distributors to help with export finance, and every other thing you probably need as a small and medium-sized company to develop global sales. And what we preach is that global sales will make a difference between making a profit and not making a profit. So if you're a company that's just doing average in the US and or elsewhere and want to expand your market, international trade is the way to go. I'd be glad to take any questions if they come. And you have my information on your screen and so forth. So we're ready to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, great, Larry. Also, you put your information in the chat box, and that'll be easy for everybody to follow up with you. Great, and then we have Christopher Bennett with the TIL, and actually, Chris has many roles. You know, he's attorney, consultant, educator, and entrepreneur at TIL. So, Chris, go ahead.
Thank you, Mijong, and just want to confirm that folks can see our screen. So I want to say that it's great that the Israel-U.S. connection applies even here. We're going to talk about something very similar to what Eldar mentioned, with a couple of big differences. One is we focus on marginalized and underserved entrepreneurs and offering intellectual property. Number two is we're working to develop some software as a service to make it scalable and global. But I am Chris Bennett, as Mijong mentioned, and I want to thank Mijong, Tal, and Susan for the opportunity to speak to you today. Our mission is to democratize intellectual property rights for marginalized and underserved entrepreneurs by making it easier and less costly for them to protect and to monetize their innovation. I'm pleased to be joined by my colleagues Peter Lee and Megan Rosario today, and I want to start with a story very briefly. Second from left in that image is my Uncle Wiley Bennett. He's reported to have written a song. He was with a famous R&B group. That song should have been worth over $1 million to him in 1968 dollars. He didn't know he had intellectual property right in that song. So the result is no royalties and no institutional and no family wealth for my uncle or his 13 siblings who are children for farmers in South Carolina. We found from research that addressing my uncle's problem also addresses 3 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. Decent work, inequalities, and partnerships. The problem is there's untapped innovation amongst the marginalized and underserved. In our first phase, we're focusing on 2.7 million of those marginalized in the US, Vietnam, and in Ethiopia. We believe we can help them create $5.4 billion in financial value through awareness, accessibility, affordability, and the availability of a return on investment. What we've done is we've taken the Stanford Extreme Affordability model and redesigned intellectual property. And we've called it IP Rights for All is our design. It addresses the issues that you saw previously, and it's being developed to be software as a service. So while we offer law services globally, we will offer software to make it easier for the marginalized and underserved. The process is pretty straightforward. Raise awareness. Where the person wants to create intellectual property, register it and protect it, and then connect them with resources to help them to monetize that opportunity or achieve their aspiration. In essence, what we're doing would be described as wraparound services for that entrepreneur. We connect them with the resources to help them to achieve, and we have direct connections with our clients, as well as awareness, referrals, and we're building an ecosystem. Some examples of our ecosystem partners with our client base currently consisting of about 75% of small business and startups, as well as creative entrepreneurs, includes the Small Business Development Center in DC, the U.S. Department of Commerce Export-Import Center, and we're also involved in SeedSpot, where we're participating, which is an impact accelerator, rated top 5 globally. Our team is a mixture of youth and experience, and we welcome an opportunity to work with you to increase awareness, access, affordability, and the availability of an ROI to marginalized and underserved entrepreneurs around the world. You can reach us on email and also on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much. So now we have, for the guest spot, just the 60-second elevator pitch, what you do, what your business is all about. I will first bring Mike Whitlock, who is a vice president with John S. Connor Global Logistics. Mike, are you there?
Well, I took up 10 seconds on muting myself, so I apologize. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Whitlock, VP of Sales and Pricing for John S. Connor. John S. Connor is a 103-year-old logistics and customs brokerage company. We specialize in anything from alcohol to household goods to nuclear to weapons, and we do a lot of foreign military sales shipments. We typically specialize more in the international side of the business, but we do some domestic. We offer warehousing, and we do have a number of clients that we currently work with in Israel, and a lot of that is based on either technology or foreign military sales type of shipments. And that's about what I have for you today. So I appreciate the time and thank you.
Great. So Michael, you make sure your information in the chat box as well. And then next we have Chris Kim. He is the president of a cybersecurity company located here in Maryland called Cyrobe. Chris? Chris, are you there? Chris Kim?
Thank you for having me, Ms. Chung, and can you hear me okay?
You have to unmute.
No, you're breaking them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, it sounds like, my internet connection is in and out. So let me make it quick. So as Cyrobe is providing endpoint cyber.
Oh, I think we lost him. All right, let me bring him if it is possible. But then let's go to Floyd Deschamps. He's the president of Desno Group with a specialty in energy sector. Floyd?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Young. We are a small consulting firm. We tend to focus on research and engineering management with a specialty in the energy and climate change areas. So we have both public and private clients in our work. And overview of what we do. We like to tell our clients that we work between the technical world and connect them to the policy world, being that we're here in Washington, D.C., with a lot of the federal agencies headquarters here. So with that, a lot of the federal agencies, as you probably well know, are a big funder of research in this country. So connecting those worlds here through Washington. And a lot of what we do is a lot of policy review and analysis, understanding what's happening from a government or legislative standpoint with the Congress, and identifying opportunities for research firms to go out and secure those opportunities. Again, a little bit of government affairs. We also do a fair amount of technology assessment, where we go out and look at technologies and come back and relate to our clients whether those technologies will meet their needs, given their particular environment that they want those technologies to work as well. So strategic planning, a big part of what we do, as well as we deal a lot with the regulatory affairs, helping companies work through the, I guess, more or less the maze of the federal regulatory process and securing those things. So a quick overview of what we do, but more than happy to work with the clients in a range of areas, utilizing both our technical and legal expertise.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Floyd. Thank you very much. And then now we have Ellen Mainhart. She's from PEDP. So Ellen, take it away.
It is 1 o'clock. So hello, everybody from probably the craziest place in the world, Washington, D.C. metro region. And I really want to visit Israel sometime. My husband did a lot of work there, and the food is supposed to be awesome. So hello to everybody. My job is essentially to help Virginia companies, primarily small and medium-sized businesses, pursue international markets. We have an Israeli contractor that will help them with customized research, as well as business development, the identification, qualification, and confirmation of meetings with prospective clients and partners. For you all, I was thinking, I think the most important thing to know is for you service providers, we do work with Globalization Partners. Hi, Lou, if he's still on there. I don't think we've ever met via phone. But we have grants that will reimburse the services you're providing to Virginia companies. So if you're, for example, Elder, the lawyer, if you're setting up an office for a Virginia company, our grants can help reimburse those services to you. We reimburse services from Globalization Partners for our clients that are hiring people around the world. So there's money on the table, and if you have Virginia companies that aren't using, taking advantage of our resources, I encourage you to have them call me. And I did put my email into the chat box. And just all your businesses sound awesome. So, and Hurricane, I need your services for sure. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ellen. I'd like to, be respectful to everybody's hour. The time it's over, actually 2 minutes over 1 o'clock. So Chris, if you still there, if you can put your information, in the chat box so the people can, follow up, great. So Tal, I think you did it well, right?
Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. It was a very good meeting. And the thing is that if you catch like 2 or 3 people that you might have any collaboration or a connection, just let us know and we will connect between many of you. And we are doing in Israel a weekly meeting. So you are more than happy to be our guest and attend and sometimes present. And thank you very much to Suzanne and to Mijong for the amazing collaborations that we did. And I'm sure that this is something that we just started, this format, cross-metro engagement. And if any help and you need anything in Israel, please feel free to connect. And I'm sure that the same goes with New York City and Washington, Baltimore. And then have a nice weekend, everybody.
Bye. Shalom. Ciao. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Okay.